What if there was a way where you could travel the world anywhere you want, shoot content literally off an iPhone, make TikToks for your favorite brands, and make multi six figures a year? Would you do it? Well, here's a new side hustle on the block. It's simply called being a content creator. This is probably one of the most underrated side hustles there is, where you can start with literally zero money. This isn't drop shipping. You're not spending any money on ads. This isn't Amazon FBA. This isn't social media marketing. It's none of that. Simply reaching out to your favorite brands, being able to shoot content for them to help them grow on TikTok and get paid tens of thousands of dollars. This is by far one of the easiest hustles there is for a complete beginner that's starting from zero and wanting to make their first 10K a month. I'll give you guys kind of backstory of how it all started for me. So let's take it back to 2019, 2020. This is very, very early on. Before TikTok was known to even have e-com products on it. This was when TikTok was just almost like Musical.ly. Back then, I wasn't the best at ads. Like throughout my journey, I've always tried to find a shortcut. I would be one of those stupid kids who would pay for the automation. Like I would always try to find a way around things, but me realizing at a younger age, it was like either you learn and you adapt or you figure out and you learn the hard way. So eventually I had to learn ads, but throughout the years, in my journey, I wasn't the best at ads whatsoever. Like finally got decently good at them. Like I can run them now. I can run a profitable business right now with ads. But back then I just didn't understand it. So one night I ended up coming across like TikTok, and a guy that I know in the space that a lot of you guys potentially may know, he told me like, get on TikTok. And I'm thinking like, huh? He was like, yeah, put your product on TikTok and start making videos. So at the time, I'm this 17-year-old kid in high school, like, okay, why not? One night I ended up posting my product on TikTok, and that night I had a viral video that did like 5.7 million views, and I ended up doing like 120K in like 2 days in revenue. And that was all organic. So I was sitting at like 45% margin. So I was a 17-year-old in high school with 40 grand to my name profit. And I did what every other 17-year-old would do with that type of money. Blew it, but lesson learned. But right then and there, I kind of really realized the true potential of like what TikTok was going to be. And fast forward to where we are now, after I realized like the success that I had with TikTok, I'm like, why can't I do this for brands? Once I realized I could do it for brands, I'm just like, how do I reach out to more brands? How do I get more eyeballs on brands to make them realize like, yo, they're missing out on TikTok? So I ended up growing on Twitter a lot, and my first month being a content creator, I did 25K. That year, I ended up doing multi six figures with no experience. Mind you, my first store was the dropshipping product I had. So, after that, I'm just like, yo, why isn't anyone doing this? Like, this is probably one of the easiest side hustles that a beginner can go from 0 to 10K fairly quickly. So to fast forward where we are today, I've helped over 60 plus brands on TikTok grow or organically, generating millions in revenue. And there's just not a lot of creators out there. There are brands hitting me up every single day, wanting a piece of, me being able to create content for them. But of course, when one human being, I have two hands, so I can't do it all. So I'm making this video to be able to, spread more awareness, to show like anyone that's in the beginner space. Like I wish this was around when I started dropshipping, because when I started dropshipping, I was burning through tens of thousands of dollars. Like I didn't have, cash flow off the ads just to dish into like, ads and things like that. So TikTok organic was something that like changed my life tremendously. Just to get more deeply into this video, if you're someone that wants to make their first 10K, here's exactly how I would start if I had to go all the way back from 0 to get right back to 10K. So first off, building out the portfolio. Having a portfolio is probably one of the biggest and most important part of being a content creator, because when you're pitching these brands want to see some type of work. If you're going to pitch me and you're wanting to work for my company, the first thing I'm going to ask for is, can I see some work that you've done? And 9 times out of 10, if you don't have any work to show for it, they're not going to hire, they're not going to take you on, and that's just what it is. Some brands may give you a commission-based deal. The commission-based deal is meaning you don't get paid nothing up front. You get paid on based on sales you bring in from your link. Those are actually some really good deals you can take still to this day, depending on how the brand is structured, what type of brand it is, and the confidence and ability that you have in the brand to go viral. I've seen a lot of people make thousands of dollars off commission-based deals, so commission-based deals aren't the worst. But anyways, you need some type of portfolio, meaning the best way I started was drop shipping. So I was just drop shipping different products, getting used to how to make good viral like content. And then I started to do a lot more, products around my house. I started to get a lot more brand deals. So the way I was able to get so good so quickly is because I was like one of the first guys in the space. A lot of people nowadays, I think the best way we get started is take commission-based deals. Take as many deals as you can get to get as much experience as much as possible. Even if that, comes to finding a product around your house and shooting content, do that, because you need a portfolio to pitch these brands. So once you got a portfolio built up, it doesn't have to be pretty, it doesn't have to be on Canva. My portfolio is simply pages I've ran, and I send that off to them. just like that. There's nothing special about it. And once you have that all built out, have someone that's in the space that's, decently well, kind of, view the content, get some feedback on what you could do differently. One of the biggest things I've seen as a content creator is not reinventing the wheel. Like, if you see viral like content, replicate that and add your own twist to it. There's nothing more to it. That's it. So once you're able to build out a portfolio, here's where the fun comes in. A lot of people just don't know how to find these brands. And let me tell you, I've probably had over 500 sales calls in the past year just from my Twitter alone and other ways I reach out to these brands. So here's a couple of things I would do as a complete beginner. I would build out a personal brand. Building out a personal brand is extremely huge. It's exactly why I'm building out this channel. I have built out a decent Twitter following, a decent TikTok following. I'm trying to build out the IG, now YouTube. Building out a following is just extremely crucial. I provided so much value in the beginning when I was on Twitter about what I would do, how I would change a brand's TikTok. And surprisingly, those threads I would do on the specific brands would land me clients. Like, it was actually wild. Like, some of the biggest clients that I used to buy from, I landed them as like big clients. It's crazy. So building out a personal brand, just giving as much value, because little do a lot of people know, Twitter is a gold mine. Like, Twitter changed my life tremendous. I've met so many cool dudes off Twitter. Twitter is a complete gold mine. So definitely build out a personal brand on there, giving out as much value as possible. There are tons of brands looking for creators every single day. You can search UGC creator, and I promise you would find an opportunity easily. So build out your Twitter is number one. Number two, you could do email, you can do referrals, affiliate. Shout out to Jimmy and the other boys out there. They have a Discord where they throw opportunities in there too. You could actually go in different communities and find brand deals that way. There's so many different ways to do it. But first off, you need that a portfolio. Without a portfolio, there's no reason to even try to pitch these brands. But yeah, number one, build out the Twitter. Two, you can do email, you can do DM, you can do LinkedIn. There's different ways to go about it. Once you get, more into the space, then you will start to branch out to these different outlets of like outbounding. But starting off, I definitely still recommend just Twitter and finding like a Discord group. After that, you want to be able to craft some type of package. So you can offer one or two things. I do both, TikTok organic or UGC. TikTok organic is where you're taking on a brand's page, like something like this, for instance, and shooting content on a day-to-day basis to grow their page and their following all organically. So, for instance, one of the biggest brands I probably worked with and did really well with was my boy that owns a chocolate brand, and I ended up killing it for him. And I grew his page organically from like 10 to 20K followers in a certain amount of time, which generated, X amount of numbers. So you can either take the route where you're going to say, hey, I can help your page grow organically to get more eyeballs to your brand's page, or you can offer UGC one-off pieces of content, or maybe 3, 4, 5 pieces, whatever it may be, with like raw footage, and you can price that separately. So depending on, what you're wanting to do, a lot of organic TikTok content creators will usually start as far as just doing organic page management, just so they can get used to the space, and then some of them can branch off to do a little of both. So it's really up to you. I signed my biggest clients through TikTok page management, to be completely honest, and I've signed some really good clients, doing UGC. So whatever fits you. If you're someone who wants to be able to manage a page to grow it organically, then do so. Or if you're someone who wants to do one-off pieces of content, then you can do that as well. And for a lot of you that don't know what UGC means, it means user-generated content. Organic and UGC is somewhat similar, but in a way it's not. Organic is more organic TikTok. UGC is where brands place paid media behind. So these are kind of two different things, but they all evolve around TikTok, if you get what I mean. So you can go either one of those routes when it comes to kind of doing this. But after that, once you're able to get the portfolio, you build out the Twitter, you're doing an outbounding, you craft your pitch, you got to decide if you're going to go organic or UGC. It kind of goes from there. So with the organic package, you could do 20, 30, 40 videos for however much you want to charge. Of course, when you're starting out, you're not going to charge nothing too crazy, you know what I mean? Because you're just starting out. A beginner should be focused on is being able to get as much experience under their belt as much as possible. So even if you're offered a commission-based deal, take it. Just so you can add, you just have something to add to your portfolio. Even with UGC, if you're offering 1 to 2 or 3 videos, 50, 60 bucks at a lower price, then do so, because you're a complete beginner, unless you're naturally good. Like me, for instance, I wasn't the best, but I kind of had it naturally where I was able to fast track my success extremely fast. Like being able to get to multi 6 figures my first year is not normal. Kind of figure out where you want to really play in, like the part of like the whole content creation, if either if it's organic or UGC, and then stick with that and craft your offer around that. But once you're able to do that, then that's kind of the sum of it all. As I said, I had zero experience back then when I started this, and I was able to do multi 6 figures. This is by far like the easiest way to get into content creation. Even if you want to get into drop shipping, TikTok organic is the best way to go about it, because you spend 15, 20 bucks on a store, get a product, you're probably spending no more than 100 bucks, and then you get to market it all for free. Like, the traffic on TikTok is truly insane. Like, all it takes is one video to change your life, and that's what it done for me. So I come here to share this to you all, that anyone that's starting in the game that just want extra cash flow, becoming a content creator is probably the best and fastest and easiest way to get your first 10K. So other than that, I mean, that's just the gist of it all on how to become a content creator, how to fast track, you know, your first 0 to 10K. If you guys like that, give me a quick comment below. Give me your guys' thoughts. But other than that, I will be posting more YouTube videos here soon. I know I've been slacking. I don't think I've posted in like 4 or 5 months. But after this, you know, we're going to have weekly videos. But stay tuned to it all, and I hope you guys have a blessed day.